Hello and welcome to another episode of Gacha Rock and Roll.
Yes, hello everyone. We're back with another episode today to talk about some stuff that's been happening recently, some announcements and some trailers and interesting stuff that I found from my sources.
So yesterday was not only the stream for Genshin Impact 3.7, the last Sumeru stream before Fontaine. So Fontaine's next, guys.
Yes.
Yesterday they also released Jing Yen's trailer and wow.
Yeah, very well done.
Very well done. That's it was so cool. Still thinking about it. The coolness.
Yeah, this guy.
This guy, you know. But folks, we're here to talk about that and to give you some tips and tricks of if and when you roll for him and who else may be coming in the future.
Yes, a lot of who else may be coming in the future. I actually have quite a fantastic list of characters that are coming soon that you can expect in good future.
Good future.
Yeah. And it's like you can expect these characters to be released over the course of maybe another year. So yeah, I got a pretty big coverage with this thing this time.
All right. So first, this is supposed to be our reactions to Genshin Impact 3.7, but I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't that much. There wasn't much
It wasn't super like reactable because like it didn't have anything extremely notable, I guess, aside from the whole bonus trailer that we got for Fontaine.
Well, let's talk about our new cap.
Kirara,
Yes.
So I think I've talked a bit about her before.
Well, we know now that she exists.
Yeah.
Kirara.
She's official Kirara. So, Dendro character. That's very interesting. We actually have another Dendro character. And I'm pretty sure her C4, when you guys get to see it, you'll be excited to know that, I can actually have a Dendro support that acts like Xingqiu or Yelan in that sense. But you will need C4 for that to be effective. Okay? So, just gonna let you guys know about that. It's not exactly the most fantastic thing.
Tell them about the box.
Oh, the box. I love the box. So Kirara's like skill transforms her into this little cube box, cat box thing, and she floats around and she, yeah, it's like Nyan Cat. Yeah, it's really really fantastic. Very excited to see how people manage to use her, because I'm pretty sure like you're not gonna hold her skill.
Yeah.
You're probably just gonna use it and then just to proc the effect, and for sure she's going to be more of a high investment needed character. So she'll be a bit like Faruzan in that sense, where they need to have higher constellations to satisfy the niche you want them to. But aside from that, I think she's very much worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can she heal? Would you know?
I don't think she can heal. As
So
far
she just
as
shield.
I know, she just shields. Yes.
Okay.
But having a shielder is very good. It's very nice. It's nice. Shielding is something we don't get too often nowadays.
Yeah.
Unless you guys know what I mean.
Unless you have Zhongli.
Zhongli and stuff. But without Zhongli, if you don't have Zhongli, then shielding isn't always the best solution for your problems or your flaws or anything.
But with Kirara, it seems like it's viable.
Yes. Especially so. Yes.
So aside from that, we also learned about this new character, Charlotte.
Oh yes, Charlotte is from Fontaine, so she's our Didn't you say you wanted like a teaser character, right?
I wanted them to follow in the system of how they introduced Kazuha as a character that was from Inazuma before Inazuma came out. So they're doing that with Charlotte.
They're doing that with Charlotte, yeah. So Charlotte is basically our version of that now in this current situation.
Yeah, we know. Well, we know nothing about her.
Well, we know that she's a reporter for the Steambird. So the Steambird is actually the same article paper that Mona writes an article for.
Oh, really?
Yes, so she writes like a astrology paper or like a astrology note for it that you can actually she's apparently really famous. I think if you remember what you call it, the latest story, she was actually mentioned by Layla as one of her inspirations for astrology. So she's even known in the academia for
Who, Charlotte?
no Mona.
Oh, right.
Right? She's
Sorry,
known
folks,
even
our
in
dog
the
was kind of,
loud.
loud.
But she's even known in the academia for her experience in the astrology field, because I think astrology is mainly is very impactful, especially in Fontaine. Maybe because the old hag is there, but we'll see.
All right. I'm still looking at the trailer, trying to find Charlotte's vision. It's there somewhere.
You think it's there, but
No,
like,
there it is.
what is it?
No,
Type
it's
of
like,
vision.
it's right
like-
there on her side, on her right leg. There it is. You see it?
Oh, wait, is that it? Is that a vision? I'm not sure if that's a vision, because like it looks a bit suspicious.
Look, I'm pretty sure that's a vision. I just don't know what element it is. I mean, yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, that looks like a vision to me.
Perhaps it is, but like I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't seem to get
I mean,
like an exact.
Considering
this
the
is a
fact that
vision.
it's okay, I'll look for the actual like art of the 3.7. Maybe that will show us where it is. So they showed. I found it cool that Yenfei is also getting a part 2 of her story quest.
Yoimiya.
Oh, sorry, Yoimiya. Yenfei.
Yenfei.
Yoimiya.
Yenfei.
Why her? I don't know, but cool.
Why not? Yoimiya is great. I'm a
But
fan.
but I mean, her story is, fireworks.
Fireworks, yes, and she's visiting Sumeru for some reason.
For some reason, fireworks, I guess.
Oh, it's cool.
I suppose. It depends, though. Let's see. All right, I'll have to resort to Twitter. This Charlotte character.
Charlotte, I can't see if she has a vision. I just don't notice.
Everyone's saying she's a okay. She seems to be a bow user.
Bow.
Ah, there it is.
You found the vision. So does she have a vision?
It's right. I knew it. It's right there.
What's the element?
Looks like she's an animo character.
Animo. Okay, interesting.
Well, you did say like not every character from a certain country has to be from that element.
yeah, yes, exactly. Not every
Inazuma person is
has
Electro.
to be Electro. Not every Lia person has to be Geo.
Ah, so she's the 4-star Venti.
Really? Is
I
that
mean,
what people?
I know that. Animo.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Sure. Maybe if you're thinking about it that way, sure. But
We'll see though. Like, there's more to come. Who the heck is Charlotte Rosalie? Oh no, it's fan fiction wiki. Yeah, makes sense. When it comes out, we will actually see her, I suppose. But yeah, she looks like she's an animo character.
well, Animo, all right.
Looks like it. I
At
don't
least
know
we
if
have
it's true.
more Animo characters.
Yeah, it's. Who was the last animo character they released? Scaramouche.
Scaramouche. Yes.
That was quite a while back, wasn't it?
It was a while back. Yes.
So apart from okay, we have Kirara, who seems to be a. Will she be a broken character? I don't know about that.
Well, she'll be very good. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
Because like her ability at C4 to act like a Xingqiu is already quite fantastic.
Oh, yeah, you can see it in the trailer. There she is, like a little.
The box.
The box is like
Yes,
roaming
I
around. It
love
seems to
that
be a
box.
regular thing,
Yeah, because like she's a delivery person. She's like Uber.
Yeah. Oh, can you confirm this for me? Mihoyo refuses to elaborate more on Sino's crazy lore and the god hidden in his body. What? The dog?
I don't know about like
Thing?
God hidden in his body, but
I think it's the dog thing.
I don't know.
Oh, well, we'll see. Yeah. It's a box. She's a Grab driver, guys. She's a Grab rider of the ancient times. You know, like there she is with like her cat claws. What is her weapon though? Because in the gameplay they showed she just like kung fu's people.
Kung fu?
She's hand to hand.
Yeah.
You don't actually see a
claws.
weapon.
She has claws.
But what is her weapon?
I think she's a sword. If as far as I remember, she's a sword character.
She's a sword character.
Yes, she's a sword.
What's the sword?
Her claws.
Her claws are the
Rawr.
sword. Interesting
Rawr.
choice.
Yeah.
Can be more, I suppose, could be more open with that sort of interpretation, but
Yeah.
sword.
Sword. It's a sword.
Alright. Let's see. We also have what looks to be some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! Event.
Yeah, but you know, I mean,
It's a Genius Invocation tournament, I think.
I think yes, as far as I know.
Okay, let's see what we got here. So I'm playing the trailer, and then Yoimiya is learning more about fireworks. Duel the Summoner. So yeah, it's a Genius Invocation TCG Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
So complete all the sightseeing goals. Huh? Oh, there's something else. Okay, so this is some sort of a scenic tour. I guess you have to duel there. Do some mini games, like find stuff. And you have to duel with people. TCG Genius Invocation kind of died down, I think.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same, extremely fantastic thing everyone thought it would be.
Yeah, I don't care for it much.
Yeah,
anymore.
it's not super interesting
Let's see what else
anymore.
they have the
They're like adding a lot of cards and stuff. Like you can see cards of
they
the
have an Amber
Archons
card
already. Yeah, the Archons have cards already.
No, Amber.
Amber also has a card, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But still, it doesn't make it any different.
The Evermotion mechanical paintings back. The gear thing.
The gear thing, yes. And then, honestly,
That's
it
a
wasn't
brave
bad.
tickler. The dice stratagem. What is this?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's one of those like you get the element, input the element, kind of thing. Collector's chapter. So it's the tower defense again. What is this normally? This time it looks like you can actually damage the characters when you fight them.
Really? What do you mean?
It looks that way because like why is the guy like doing skills in the tower defense mode if it doesn't matter? Apparently it does.
Maybe you can now. They made tower
Let's
defense
see,
harder.
one of those create a places and then feast of the departed
Yeah, that's
warriors.
just another like boss gauntlet thing as far as I understood how it worked or how it
Yeah.
looked.
Phase trials hypothesis. It's potions and that sort. And the Ibis Piercer.
That's a free weapon. I guess that's the free bow for the...
Probably for Charlotte.
No, not necessarily. We don't know what Charlotte does.
I guess so. We'll see. And also, of course, let's talk about the fact that they teased Sumeru.
Yeah, what?
Sumeru. They teased Fontaine.
Yes.
Underwater exploration.
Because like you can't not have Fontaine and underwater exploration because literally half of the country is supposed to be underwater now.
It's interesting to me that they chose to make it you swim, not the traveler can breathe underwater and
good. Doesn't make sense
but
if he
then
could
it's gonna
breathe
be like
underwater.
the
He's
traveler
gonna have like a head bubble or something to keep him oxygenated.
Yeah, it's like is oxygen gonna be a factor now? Oh, sorry. Oxygen
Maybe
a thing?
okay, like if they're gonna make oxygen like a thing that you have to count down to and you have a limited time underwater, it's gonna be a miserable experience, okay?
Yeah.
It's gonna be very miserable. Nobody's gonna like exploring because they keep running out of oxygen.
Like it's like in Legend of Zelda, the underwater dungeons in Legend of Zelda are usually really hard because Link can't breathe that much.
And nobody.
Speaking of that,
Did you
though,
enjoy those? Oh yes, Tears of the Kingdom came
Yeah.
out yesterday.
The
I
Legend of
was
Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
We waited
And-
a long time.
And
for this game.
all the people are playing it, people are finishing it, and people are recommending it.
Yeah.
It is a
There's
fantastic
already a
game.
speedrunner that finished the game in 94 hours.
Yes. So there will be ways to get that time down as more glitches and exploits are discovered as the game goes on.
But
So I'm excited
have
to
you
see.
heard anything to suggest Has it like surpassed Breath of the Wild? Has it?
I don't know about surpassed, but it's what you call it. It's the same critical acclaim that Breath of the Wild got. So you will not be disappointed by what you experience in what you call it.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom, yes.
And what do you think of how they chose to interpret Ganondorf? Have you seen like clips of the fights of the Ganondorf?
Yeah.
Like he's some guy.
Giga Chad man.
Yeah, with like a sword, you know.
Like I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
And what did you
It's
think of his
cool.
portrayal, like his voice?
Yeah, it's fine. Honestly.
By Matt Mercer.
Matt Mercer, he did a great job.
Yeah, like look upon the revival of a king.
Yes, he's returned to the, this is my land, this is my world, type thing. But
Yeah.
he's cool. I like what they did with my boy Ganondorf.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to
And-
see him back.
But from the opening, we saw like they had certain liberties with the Legend of Zelda's lore, which is very interesting.
A lot of people are saying like, oh, is this connected to Skyward Sword? And well,
No.
I don't know. We don't
No,
know.
it's not.
Have you looked at all the possible lore stuff?
I've seen the ending of
Yes, you've viewed the
Breath of the
ending,
Wild, yeah,
but
like-
then like, have you seen like the lore bits?
Well,
and
there are
stuff
things
on
that
the side?
connect stuff to each. Like Breath of the Wild is supposed to be some sort of a nexus because like it references things from almost every other Zelda game.
Really?
Yes. Things that couldn't possibly exist in the other like timelines exist in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay, interesting.
For example, did you know that what was it there? Their character like I think what do they call the lion enemies?
What lion? Lionels?
Lionels. They only exist in the failed timeline.
The
I think.
failed
or the child
failed
timeline.
hero. Okay.
Yeah, they only exist in one of those
So
timelines.
are we on that timeline then?
But then there are also what's the term? There are also things like I forgot the water people.
What do you mean? Like Mifa?
Yes, like
Stuff?
her.
Oh,
Her people
the
only
Zora.
exist in the other timeline.
like the Zora people?
Yeah. Then
so-
the mentioning of like
So maybe it is its own like
it's its
little
own thing
timeline.
where
yeah.
they all happened in the Breath of the Wild the era they all happened.
Interesting.
Seems to be the consensus here, because although there is a lot of Skyward Sword references,
it's
I will admit.
well, you don't say. I mean, it's literally Sky Worlds and stuff with Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yes, but
Hyrule Castle
it doesn't
in the sky.
it doesn't lead into Skyward Sword is what we're saying. This is not like the prequel to it all.
Skyward Sword, yeah.
But
I
you
get
know,
that,
like
yeah.
this is probably the end. Like, don't expect Breath of the Wild 3.
No. I think this game is already big enough to be that like last Breath of the Wild game that they're gonna have.
Yeah,
But
then
like at least they know the type of formula people like now.
for Zelda.
For Zelda games, like they're okay with the whole open world thing, and the way they did it was fantastic.
And nobody had an issue with voice acting.
Nobody did. As long as Link doesn't talk, we're all fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
he-
that's
he
the
has a
only thing we
voice.
care about. Yeah.
He has a voice, you know. You know all that. He has a voice and stuff, so like he just doesn't. That
I mean,
seems to be the thing.
I think that's the only like thing that we really care about.
Make sure Link
Like,
doesn't
Link
talk.
shouldn't talk. Like he just shouldn't. It's not right. It feels wrong if you will. He should just
Yeah.
grunt and stuff and scream in pain.
Ah.
Yeah,
all
yeah, that's fine. That is fine.
But you
Link
know,
screaming in pain, that's the type of Legend of Zelda that we want to experience.
what?
You know,
Okay, anyway, but yeah. But going back, so aside from with Genshin, aside from, I guess really the big news is so they're going like Fontaine, we're gonna see the underwater. So folks, if you haven't finished your like Dendroculi, do it now.
No, I have no. Don't even bother. You don't get extra stamina from doing it. Don't bother anymore. Like I just stopped doing the Dendroculi. I don't care anymore.
Oh, okay, but prepare for Fontaine. Let's
Yes.
see what they do with Focalors or Focalors as they say in English.
I don't like the English Focalors. I don't think that sounds off to me.
Well, if that's what they say, then that's probably what it is. Focalors, whatever. Let's see what how they choose to go about it, because they have a lot to live up to, especially because we're supposed to meet a new Fatui.
Two new Fatui.
Yes, Arlecchino and Guizhong. I mean Marionette.
Marionette, yes. I'm gonna stick with the theory that she's Guizhong. She looks way too similar not to be.
Yes.
Like
If
that,
you don't
that's
know where
so
we're coming
suspicious.
from, watch the recent Lantern Rite Festival video explaining, what happened to Guizhong, what happened to like
Yeah. And then
Protagon.
watch. I think we had a
Pay
previous.
very close attention to how Guizhong looks.
Yeah, and then look at our previous.
The Fatui video.
Yeah, and we've had a previous episode talking about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So
It's just, but every episode is somebody's first episode.
yeah,
So,
you can, if this is your
folks.
first episode, welcome. This is the kind of stuff we talk about.
But folks, take a look. Like,
Yes,
really.
please take a look. It's very suspicious. Like, trust me. Like, why do you look like that?
You don't understand. Like the
This-
moment
you
people
don't-
pointed that out.
It's like, what?
Wait a second.
Question mark. Suspicious. Very suspicious.
But here we are, guys. Let's see if Kirara becomes a hit, which I think she already is because of
Yes, the
Cat Girls.
Cat Girls, yes. I'm a fan.
You're a fan?
I don't like the unfortunate part is that I won't be able to get her.
Because.
She's on the banners that I'm not going to roll on.
Oh yes, aren't you going to roll for Al-Haytham?
Al-Haytham, yes.
Because he's back.
Al-Haytham, Al-Haytham.
It's been so. Like, that's a pretty short gap between his debut and his rerun, don't you think?
It is pretty short.
He must have been that like impactful in the game that, we need a Dendro DPS. Here you go.
There, yes.
We want him back.
DPS.
Here you go.
Yeah. Well, I hope I can get him. I don't know if I'll win that 50-50.
We'll see. Prepare. That's all. Just
Yeah.
prepare.
I don't know if I have enough gems for it. I have like, I don't know, 7,000 gems. I don't know if that's enough. Kind of doubt it because like I might lose the 50-50.
But there's always a shot. You never know. But aside from that, I guess we can move a bit towards Star Rail. Is there any FGO thing we need to mention?
They're doing a lot in JP. They're doing a lot more of the what do we call it? Bringing back the welfare servants, like the welfare readjustments. They're buffing them and stuff. Very interesting stuff. What else do we have? The last Grail Front releases today. It has released today.
It's quite a challenge, guys.
Kind of, yeah. Really, it's a real strategic thing this time. So you really have to know what you're doing. And for other stuff in JP, I'm not so sure. I think that's about it. We don't have JP's pretty quiet nowadays, aside from the whole Beast Nero thing. But aside from that, it's
How has Beast Nero been? Like, it's been a few days into the game since she came out. Like, how has she done?
well, she's a beast. I mean, but like a lot of people say, you don't overhype her or anything, because she's not like super game breaking or anything. But there are things
they
that she lacks.
already released the super game breaking servant.
Yeah, there are things that she lacks.
Right. Aside from that, I guess now it's Star Rail time, I guess. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
Alright, Star Rail time it is. So, first things first, guys. That Jingyan trailer. Wow. Like, it very well made. I think I dare say it was better than quite a lot of the Genshin trailers.
Of course, yes.
He looks godly, and he literally summons the Lightning Lord.
Lightning Lord, yes.
All that power, guys. So first things first though, we're seeing a lot of back and forths from people. We're even hearing from like our friends, or Ryan's hearing from his friends.
My
right?
friends, yes.
Back and forth. Oh, Jingyan sucks. No, he's gonna be good. No, he's gonna suck. So, let's try and throw our hat in the ring to dispel or prove
Yeah.
those sayings. So, with you had beta test access. Like
Yeah, I did
you
not
didn't
get to
him.
use Jingyan though.
But you understand now how the game works.
Yes, I
to a much
have a
better extent.
I have a very good understanding.
And we do know his kit.
Yes, we do.
So, why do people say he's gonna suck? And is it true?
A lot of people say he's going to be bad because like I think it's a it's a mix of two things. It's like one, everyone has Serval and everyone's satisfied with how Serval works, and Serval is very good at what she does, and she's the same as Jingyan. Two, Jingyan's stats based on what we've seen so far on our through our own information and it's not exactly so fantastic. He's not super good stats for his current niche erudition. So he's not exactly super fast. He's not exactly super high attack, but that's what I think is causing people to see like, Jingyan's not that good. He's gonna be kind of bad. That's what people say. But on the contrary, it's not exactly those things are what carry him for his damage. It's supposed to be the time that you take to do stuff with him. So the longer the battle goes on, the more Lightning Lord gets his stacks, and the more Lightning Lord gets his stacks, the more damage he will do.
So basically, Jingyan's thing is that his passive, Lightning Lord is his passive, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, Lightning Lord is his passive.
So basically, he's 2-in-1. Like he attacks, and he also brings with him the Lightning Lord, which he summons in the start of the fight.
Yes.
Which has a base speed of 90?
Yes, base speed of 90, and then you can...
Or 60.
And then you can... 60, yes.
Which 90. Is very slow.
It's very slow, yes.
Like we're talking, many of the characters start out with triple-digit speeds.
Yes.
So 60 is very low.
To have like a 60 speed is really like you're so slow, you're not gonna get anything done. But
when it's his turn though.
Yeah, each stack, however, of his passive, which is
which you can get from skill and ult.
Yes, will give Lightning Lord 10 speed, and you can get up to 10 stacks, which eventually will get him to 160 speed.
It's a lot faster than
a lot of characters. But I think there are also some apprehensions people are having because it's gonna take you a while to get there, and you wanna get there immediately. You don't wanna take a while to get to your like damage window, right? You don't wanna take that long, and if you take that long, you might just lose the fight, right? So that's part of the thought process. I think that a lot of people are going through. Like, what is the point of him if he can't get his stuff done like now, right? Like he needs to do it now. Like he can't just be there. He has to do it now, And that's why like he's not gonna power creep someone like Himeko, because Himeko is much faster at what she does. She immediate AoE damage and the like, and Jingyan is more delayed, right? Jingyan for sure has like that kind of he has damage to boot. With the AoE, he has some early game damage with this, enhanced basic attack, which becomes AoE also. But aside from that,
remember he is an erudition character.
He is an erudition character, yes. But he will take a while to like get up there. He can't. He's a slow starter. He doesn't start off quickly. He does it slowly.
So he'd be good in like fights that are gonna last a while.
Yes, longer delayed fights are better for Jingyan, that's for sure.
So like simulated universe.
Simulated universe, he'll be fantastic, that's for sure. I keep saying for sure. But
it is for sure.
It is for sure, yes. But like in simulated universe, he'll be very good. I think. Well, at least I think so. He'll be very good because AoE damage is very important in simulated universe, and
despite the fact that he's erudition, guys, like Lightning Lord does a lot.
It does a lot of damage to like single opponents, surprisingly, which is like wow, you actually, it's like you did single target damage to an AoE, which reminds me of Gil sometimes, right? With his
like, imagine Gilgamesh from FGO. That's Jingyan.
That's basically like Jingyan in terms of his damage. So don't underestimate Jingyan's damage. I'm not going to say though that he's a must pull for everyone.
He's a must pull for me, but
he's a must pull for some people who like want the character a lot. But when you're looking at other characteristics and stuff, like okay, do you need him? No. Serval works just fine to be that electro erudition that you need. But do you want somebody who's stronger? Yes. Jingyan is very good. he is worth the investment and he is worth to have later on. It's not a problem if you want to get him now, and it's not a waste. Plus, the 4 stars on his banner are very good.
Yeah,
Right, you have
Sushang,
Sushang,
March,
March,
and Tingyun.
Tingyun. Yeah. 2 extremely good characters.
And March.
March,
No,
who
no,
is
no.
very good with certain compositions of teams also.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you need. Jingyan is, don't underestimate Jingyan. He's gonna be very good, but don't commit yourself to hit, like, he's not a must pull, right? He's not like a Kazuha or something, right?
Yeah.
He's not I have to get him to actually make a better impact on my stuff. No need. You don't need to. You'll survive without it. That's what I'm trying to say.
I suppose. Although honestly, like, I need to get him.
Yeah, you need to get him. You've wanted him.
I wanted
for the
him
longest
since I
time,
saw
right?
him. It was like I saw that
Yeah.
that ult, and I was like all in at that point, Because yeah, and the other thing too is people are coming around to him because of that video they released of his fight with Jingliu.
Yes. Me, I didn't really care about him there. I cared about Jingliu, but
Yeah, but still,
that's
that's
just
such a
me.
cool video, like showing like where he came from, like why he is the way he is.
Yeah, how did he become one of the arbiter generals? How did he rise to be the leader of the
Yeah.
Luofu?
I wonder if people are like you now, where like because of what happened to Jingliu, everyone's like, nah, we're with the Luofu on this. Like, go find the abundance, burn her.
Burn. Like I'm with the hunt on this one. Like I don't.
You're with
I
Lan
don't,
here, like,
I don't support the
the
freaking abundance. No.
with Yaosher, you mean?
No, I don't. I really don't. But you get what I mean.
But yeah, like for me, like I've been excited for him. Like anyone who is a fan of it, anyone who's playing in Japanese audio, you will recognize him as Jotaro Kujo from JoJo.
Jotaro.
So he's a JoJo,
He's a
but his
JoJo
stand is now the
character.
Lightning Lord.
His stand is Lightning Lord. Yeah, he is a JoJo character. He's basically a JoJo character.
JoJo character.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming out like in a few days. I'm really excited to get him.
Yes. His light cone is very good also.
Before dawn.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah. So don't sleep on him, but don't feel obliged to get him. If you want to save for someone else in the future, like someone
Yeah.
I mentioned later.
Well, yeah, but let's talk about who we know is in the future. Silver Wolf and
Silver
Luocha.
Wolf and Luocha, yes.
So we know Silver Wolf is coming out first.
Silver Wolf is on the first banner, and Yukong will be on her banner
Yes.
as well.
So I think we've discussed Yukong before.
Yes, we have discussed Yukong a bit before.
But for those who don't know, guys, she's really good.
Yes, Yukong is very good. She's gonna be not to mention that she's also imaginary. So imaginary is a very hard to find element, and to find one at a 4-star level is already very nice,
Yeah,
very
because
convenient.
consider the only other imaginary characters are Welt and Luocha. Luocha's not out.
Luocha's not even out
If
yet,
you were-
and both of them would be 5 stars.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you didn't pick Welt if you haven't reached, I haven't reached my selector yet, so I
Mhm.
don't have Welt.
You don't have wealth yet. Yet, we'll see.
Yeah, but there are folks, of course, who may skip Jingyan for Luocha or Silver Wolf. Actually, there are people who might skip both Seal and Jingyan.
For Silver Wolf or
Yeah.
Luocha, yes.
So, let's break it down. Like, who are they? Because like we've already discussed Yukong before, so go check out a previous episode of ours where we have.
Yes, we have talked about.
But just as a
Yukong
very
already.
quick overview, she's a debuffer that gives stacks of crit.
Yeah, she gives like crit. She can give crit buffs, including crit rate, which is that's very hard to get. Crit rate. So being able to give people crit rate and the like will be very convenient for a lot of people. So, yeah. She also gives a massive attack buff, so you can be sure that yes, she will be very good and useful. And she also depletes toughness at an alarming rate.
Alarming indeed.
Yes,
guys.
because her passive is actually against, it's meant to deal with toughness for characters. So yes, Yukong will be a very
It's quite appropriate that she comes out with Silver Wolf, the character who can kind of deal with that because of her
She can also cover the whole missing
missing
weakness. So yeah, Silver Wolf is also gonna be a very nice pickup for anyone who decides to get her.
Yeah, we got to try her out in the tutorial.
The tutorial, yes, everyone got to try. Everyone got to see what kind of character she is, how she functions, and well, generally, you know, if she were to get in the future. People also tried Kafka, and Kafka is coming in the future too. You can expect her closer than you think, actually.
Yes, but guys, from this point forward, we'll be discussing characters that they have essentially been leaked out.
Yes, they are. They are. They do not exactly what you call it.
We don't know when they'll come out, or like we don't know when. We don't know where, but they exist.
They will exist soon, in the future. Eventually.
Yes.
At one of these points.
Yes. So if you do not want to be spoiled on more characters, thanks for tuning in. You should probably go. But if you're still sticking around, then and you want to learn potential characters to roll for, we can do that for you by giving you this rundown of the future characters to expect in Star Rail. And again, we cannot tell you when they're coming out because we don't know when they're coming out.
Yeah, I can only give you a rough estimate of they might come out somewhere in the future, or like in between now and maybe 2.5.
That's a long time, guys.
Yes, but that's
probably like a year
the best
from
I
now.
can do. Yeah, that's the best I can do for you.
Yes. So we mentioned Silver Wolf already. She was a character that her value comes from being able to implant a weakness.
Yes, so
Right.
you get always a situation where sometimes you don't have the weakness for a certain enemy.
Just bring her.
You can actually just bring her with you.
Yeah, that'll solve all your problems.
Solve all the problems, yes. But she essentially just puts a certain weakness on a character that is on your team. So it's dependent really on what characters you have on your team.
So is it a good idea to have two of the same element if you're bringing a Silver Wolf?
You can do two of the same element. I wouldn't recommend it though.
Like let's say I brought Jeopard, Bailu, Jingyan, and Silver Wolf. Would that work in theory?
In theory, yes. Of course it would. But whether or not you actually want to do that depends on the situation, right?
Yeah, that's true. But it is possible. And of course, there's also Luocha. We gotta talk about Luocha.
Fantastic healer. Arguably the best healer. He has really potent heals. He has AoE buff removal against enemies. And he has... he doesn't need to use skill points to heal people. He'll just heal them randomly when he feels like it. Well, no, not really randomly, but more, when they get below a certain HP percentage, usually that's when Luocha will heal somebody.
Yeah, and he's one of them damaging healers.
Yes,
right?
He's a battle healer, so he's better with potent damage dealers, right?
Right. So, and what's interesting is that a lot of people for the beta test said like, Blade and Luocha, they're the pair to get. You gotta get them both.
Both they're very good together. That's for sure.
But you're skipping Luocha, right?
I think depending on my quantity of possible pulls that I have, I may have to skip Luocha. I am still skipping Silver Wolf, though I might throw a 10 pull there just to get a copy of Yukong. But aside from that, I'm not gonna commit to anything like that.
I see.
I'd rather guarantee my Blade and my Light Cone because I do want them more than having a healer, because I do have Bailu already and I can work with that. She is the type of healer that supports people who do get hit to heal, so I am fine with doing that type of compensation just so I can guarantee Blade, because Blade, I've seen the damage he can do and it's very, very good. So I want that kind of thing. I want to use that. So it looks very fun.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Yeah, and like and Blade is the type of character that I've always played in like every turn-based game, or just games in general. The one that sacrifices his HP to deal more damage. So I've always played those types of characters in a lot of my games. So in Genshin I played Hu Tao. In Esdorica there was literally a character whose ultimate was to die but deal like 1,000,000 damage.
And everybody plays Arash.
And everyone uses Arash. So I'm that type of player, yes. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
And yet you don't use Arlan.
Because Arlan is just budget played. I don't wanna invest on somebody that I know I'm never gonna use again.
And yet people say that about, Serval. Like, oh, I'm gonna get Jingyan, I'm gonna build Serval.
Well, some people would do that because, you're gonna get Jingyan. But then, for us who aren't... I'm not getting Jingyan, so I'm very much investing on Serval. Right?
Yeah.
I really like my Serval, honestly. I think I'm C4 on my Serval so far.
E4, you mean?
E4, yes. E4 on Serval. And, I very much like her gameplay, honestly. I'm a big fan of the whole shock damage. Her having big shock damage and then inflicting debuffs and shock. And her shock damage is really large. And then she gets her ultimate really quickly back also. Which
especially if you give her
like.
the right light cone.
Yes.
She's a rocker, so
lot of
rock and roll.
He has a lot of compatible erudition light cones also. When Jingyan comes out, you're gonna have to roll. You have to roll, you will get a lot more light cones that are much more compatible with your characters. Trust me, because a lot of the F2 peak light cones are not as good as the 4-star ones you can get.
I wouldn't know. Like I never rolled.
He hasn't rolled yet, right? Yeah.
I have not rolled on the limited banner once. Throughout the entire time I've played Star Rail. It's only during I've only ever done it for standard, just so I could get my first 5-star.
Yeah, which I find is a bit,
Actually, no, not even
sense.
standard. I only did it for my beginner banner. That's the only time I ever
and technically those pools were just given to you anyway, right? You just got tickets, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you could have chosen to use them on limited banner anyway.
Yeah, but right now I'm at 20,003 Stellar Jades.
Yeah, so that's you're definitely gonna be able to guarantee Jingyan. I can tell you now. Like 100% guarantee. Like, don't look at me like that. I know what you're looking like. Yeah, you are going to get Jingyan.
I don't know my luck in this game.
you will get Jingyan. Like with that many pulls, you can guarantee it. I can tell you that much.
That's a 90. I guarantee a 5-star. Whether or not that's Jingyan
like because
depends.
you're thinking about it like at 90, but like at worst case scenario, people get it like 85 or 80. But then like most people will get it at the 70 mark.
Well, if I'm lucky and I miss,
you'll still be
early.
able to get the second one, right? You won't.
Maybe.
Like you definitely will not like lose it completely or anything.
We'll see. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
But we got some real stuff to prepare for. But yes, folks. So after Luocha, again we will be diving into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have your list with you?
Yes, I do have the list with me.
There is one character that's do you want to avoid him because of spoilers?
I will avoid that one, okay? Because like that one could be a bit too big of a spoiler, because that also involves story.
Yeah, so there's one character in the leaks we will not
talk about that one because it is very volatile to even the story of the game, and I don't want to spoil.
Should we include Jingliu in this discussion?
Yes, because she's not exactly.
We know she's playable
because
Amelie posted it.
Yeah, we know she is going to be involved with the story and everything. So like, I don't think we need to hold back on that front.
But is it a spoiler of the fact? Oh, she didn't die in the Jinglian video. Does that mean it's a spoiler, or is it?
I don't think it's a spoiler.
Or is it she still is dead, but they're just making her playable?
Yeah, no, I think she's alive.
You think she's alive?
Well, that's my belief. I think she's alive. That's why she has the whole, she has kind of a aesthetic that's, preventing her own corruption type of thing.
Okay, that's like Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, yes. That's why some of her shots of her are her having a blindfold.
Yeah. But yeah, let us talk about Jingliu. What can she do?
So Jingliu uses a stacking system with her attacks and her.
Expect this to be a very common occurrence, guys.
Yes, apparently stacking.
They like
is,
stacking.
They
in
really
Honkai
like
Star Rail.
They really like the whole stacking system. Apparently,
I guess it works better for turn-based games. It fulfills their
it's
own
easier
niches.
to impact the game and easier to design characters if you just follow a stacking system. I don't
Yeah.
mind it. I really don't mind it. So Jingo uses stacking system. Like she gets different stacks. So there's a new moon, which is her base stack. So she has this moon aesthetic, which is I like that. It's cool.
If you've seen the art, you'll see the moon.
Yeah. So she can get up to 4 stacks of new moon, and essentially she enters a different state of a different combat stance in a sense when she gets 4 stacks of new moon. So upon those 4 stacks, upon reaching those 4 stacks, she sacrifices everyone's HP, including her own, everyone on your team's HP, including her own, to increase her own attack. So she'll especially increase her own attack in that sense. So she'll gain like a large attack bonus, and she'll enter her second state, and all of her stacks will become moonlight stacks, and then she'll gain a new skill, and the stacks essentially are how many turns you have left of your enhanced form. Her normal skill is just to get 2 stacks of 2 stacks of her thingy, of her basic what am I saying? Of her new moon stacks. That's her basic skill, and her enhanced skill will consume 2 moonlight stacks and deal AoE damage instead. So her normal skill is just a single target, and her enhanced skill is an AoE. So that's nice. And her ultimate is more of a one size fits all thing. So her ultimate can be used for in both forms. So if you're in your normal form, when you use your ultimate, it will give you immediately 2 stacks of moonlight. And if you're in the of new moon, if you're not in the transcendence form, your second form essentially, then you will get 2 stacks either way. So let me just simplify all of that. That probably sounded really complicated. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that whatever form you're in, when you use your stacks, you get 2 stacks. Okay? That makes sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's essentially how Jingliu works. So she's completely dependent on getting her stacks, on using her stacks, and keeping her stacks up. So the longer her stacks are up, the more she can do damage over a longer period of time.
Yeah. So she'll be quite damaging.
Wow, she's destruction, by the way. She's ice destruction. If you people need to know their exact skill set.
Glad
She's
we're getting
ice
more destruction characters.
Yes, we don't have enough destruction characters. We only have
one of them being you.
One of them is the protagonist. The other one's Clara, and the other one's Arlan. And well, apparently a lot of the destruction characters have a mix of both single target and AoE. So
yeah, so run of the mill, bring them around.
Yes. No objections there though. I'm happy to see that Jingliu is playable, and excited to see how she is going to be in practice.
How are they gonna portray her? Is she gonna be a lost soul that's looking for redemption after her?
Maybe. I like that kind of aesthetic. That sounds cool.
Although this is interesting. Like, okay, for the lore bits, guys, does this mean that people can be cured of the Maru struck?
It's not that. I don't know if she's cured. She could be just resisting the Mara.
Last they saw her, she was Mara
struck. She was she was Mara struck the last time they saw her.
And now she's not?
She's fine, maybe.
She's fine, like-
I think it's something to do with her resisting it. That's why she wears the blindfold.
Yeah,
right?
because
you remember
like
in
the
like
red
the
eyes are kind of
an indicator of like, oh,
Maru struck, you know.
she is contaminated or something like that. So in one way, I think that's one way I'd like to think about it.
It's still so interesting that they get to have her, and voiced by Amelie, guys.
Yes, very excited, or very very excited to see how her performance is in English aside from the trailer. So
Yeah.
outside the trailer and stuff.
So aside from Jingliu, we have who else do you have on your list again?
I have a lot of characters, so like this might take a while.
This is the bulk of the episode, I suppose.
Yes, it will take a while for me to get through everyone. So let's talk about a 4-star character.
Shoot.
So there is a 4-star character. His name is Dr. Ratio.
Ratio.
Yes, Dr. Ratio. I don't know why his name is Dr. Ratio, but his name is Dr. Ratio. Let's
And
leave
what
it
does
at that.
Dr. Ratio do?
He's an imaginary character that is a 4-star, and he's erudition. So he is AoE damage. If I needed to remind you that. But he is essentially, I'll simplify his kit a bit, but he's essentially dealing more damage the more debuffs your opponents have. So it's
bring
like
Welt with him.
Welt, anyone who does debuffs.
Any Nihility character.
Nihility
basically.
characters especially, yes.
Oh, sounds like Kafka would be a good pair with him then.
Oh yes, definitely. I think that's what one of my friends was spitballing about when I was talking to him about this. His talent is a unique one. So essentially, every time he uses a basic attack or a skill, he gains a random buff, 1 of 5 random buffs. So there's attack buff, crit rate, crit damage buff, speed buff. So he gets those for 3 turns each. So it's dependent essentially on random chance, and he can stack up to 5 times for those specific types of buffs. So yeah, that's Dr. Ratio. Very interesting character. I'm very interested to see how they execute him, how they showcase the randomness. Because like randomness has always been like a system for a lot of people. That's why a lot of people don't like Jingxie.
Yeah, Jingxie does well.
Yeah, like I'm a big fan of Jingxie. I like Jingxie a lot. But I use Jingxie even though I have Sila, I still use my Jingxie. So you can't stop me, people. I like Jingxie. Jingxie's cute.
Like I think pretty sure like anyone who doesn't have Sila, Jingxie is their only quantum character.
Exactly. So
you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. So why bother complaining about it? Just run with it, right?
Yes. So aside from that, there's also who did you mention? Well, do you mind if I look at the list so that I can pick it up? Because like I think at the moment you're busy with the
Simulated
Svarog.
Universe. Yes, this Svarog man, I really hate this guy.
Oh, somebody who you may have heard mentioned by Herta, Skrulum.
Squillium.
Squillium.
Squillium Fancy-san.
Yeah, Skrullium. So here, check out Skrullium, the 5-star imaginary character. So we have yet another one. Why don't you just auto that fight?
No, because it's a boss fight. I can't just auto a boss fight.
Really? You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
auto your boss fights?
No, I will, but then like I would, but this is simulated universe and I want to win. This Svarog has been beating me so many times because of his stupid hands.
Alright, so it seems like Skrullium launches a missile at an enemy and the missile bounces at the enemy up to 4 times, dealing damage each time. So kind of like Bailu's healing, but on your opponents, and it's damage. If Skrullium is in his enhanced state, using the skill triggers a passive effect and consumes 1 layer of precision. What does that mean? Precision. So, same as a regular skill, enhanced skill is the same as the regular skill, but each time the missile bounces, it also damages nearby enemies. Because AoE missile, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's like a bouncing bomb essentially. So he's erudition. He has like a stacking system also. He has a passive where he does follow up attacks if there is a follow up attack. So follow up of the follow up attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a 5-star imaginary, so you can enjoy that. I don't particularly like his system because it's super based on the whole, what you call it, stacking and follow-up attacks. So you need to have him with other follow-up attackers for him to be effective. No, he'll take too long.
Oh yeah.
It's a follow-up attack, yeah.
Herta,
but
I
it's too
guess.
long. Herta, Himeko, maybe.
Oh, Himeko, yeah.
Good
yeah.
for farming, but not for anything else, I think.
All right. But does he? All right. Who do you have next?
Shajin.
Shajin.
That's not the English name, that's like the Chinese name.
Oh, okay.
That's a 5-star imaginary character from the Preservation. Right? He's basically a defense stacker. So he gives a shield to all of his allies. He increases his own defense with all of his things, and he can keep stacking his shield with his skill. So his shield can stack on itself.
Mhm.
So it's shield, 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 and then his shield scale of defense, and he also deals some damage based on his defense, and his ult also buffs his defense.
Yeah. It's like if Jeopard's shield could stack.
Yes, and he doesn't need to ult to put the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially he's a defense stacker.
Yeah. So this guy might power creep Jeopard, maybe. I'm not.
I don't
too
think
sure.
so. Jeopard's shield is just so massive.
Yeah. I like how people are saying he's basically the Zhongli of this game.
Yeah, but he doesn't solve all your problems, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he's good to
Like
have
other
in the team.
characters, yeah. For other possible characters we can find is another 4-star Harmony character named Hanya. You may
Hanya.
know her from the one light cone that is like she's a white-haired girl on a light cone thing.
What is that light cone called? Like, let's see if we can find it.
I don't remember what the light cone is called, but
Oh, you're in. Oh no! Look in the shop.
I think
look
I
in
have a
the-
copy of it. Let's see here. Do I not have a copy?
Wait. It's on your Qingqie.
Yeah. What?
Qingqie.
No, that's Serval.
Oh, that's Serval. Oh, my
Yes.
bad.
She's not. I don't think I have that one.
It's in the.
It's in the Battle
Nameless
Pass
Honor
shop. I think.
shop, yeah.
Let me check there.
You turn on the light for a second.
Okay. Here, this one. It's called Return to Darkness. Her name's Hanya. Essentially, she's not a hunt character, but she's on a hunt CE.
That's weird.
A light cone. I call it CE because they're basically craft essence, right?
The craft essences, artifacts if
Yeah.
you're an Epic 7 player.
So she's a physical harmony character, and essentially her entire gimmick is to give people the chance to restore skill points for free. So she puts a special debuff. You attack someone with that debuff, and you have a chance to restore a skill point, and her ult also just restores a skill point. We have another character, 5-star wind character,
Yes.
Abundance.
Yes.
Wind
healer. Ho ho.
She's an unconventional healer because she seems like more of a buffer, and she also restores energy. So using her skill puts a special buff that randomly either restores health or restores energy to a character, and every time they take their turn. Right? So it's random if they heal or restore energy. And that can happen up to 10 times. And after 10 times has happened, you need to refresh it by using your skill again. And her ult is basically just like Ting Yun, but to everyone. So I don't know.
But to everyone.
Yes.
Oh my.
So it's she gives energy to everyone, restores energy to all, and yeah, she gives attack also. So essentially, Ting Yun's ult. And another character. Do you remember the third Landau sibling?
Yeah, Lynx.
Lynx Landau is also a abundance character. She is a 4-star quantum character. Very interesting.
She's a camper.
Yes, she is. But 4-star quantum character, and essentially she is based off clearing debuffs. So every time she clears a debuff, she gets energy back, and if she clears and her ult clears a debuff from everyone, one debuff from everyone in the team, and restores HP. And her ult also has a unique gimmick where after she uses it, heals people, the same amount the people who she healed will heal the same amount at the start of their turn. So it'll heal off the ult, and then when they have their turn, it'll heal them the same amount again. So very interesting. Other stuff. Fu Xian. So Master Diviner Fu Xian is a preservation quantum character.
That is still the weirdest association I found.
It's kind of weird.
You wouldn't think it, but then again, if you think about it, any person who can see the future should be able to know when a hit is coming.
Yes. So while she is on the field, everyone gains damage reduction, and she also gains a damage bonus depending on how much HP she loses, and and how much HP she is missing. She also gets a damage bonus of that, and then when she gets hit under a certain HP percentage, she will swap the HP percentages of her health and her missing health. So if she is missing 70% of her health and she only has 30% left and she gets hit, her health will suddenly become 70% and her missing health will become 30%.
Yeah, so she can't die. Or can she die? How does that work?
It's not that she can't die, it's that she's very focused
will
on
it keep
having damage
switching
reduction.
back?
If you use your ult, then yes, you can do it again. You can swap again. But it's better to have healing. So, her skill essentially gives another damage reduction effect and also makes it so that when allies take damage, she takes a portion of it. So she mitigates it a bit. So she takes some of the damage that allies would have taken and on herself. And while she takes damage while the effect is active, she gains a stack, and for each stack she gains extra max HP. And then her ult is just AoE quantum damage and extra quantum damage based on her max HP, and she resets the amount of times her passive has been triggered, meaning she can do the health swapping thing again. So she's very much based on being a preservation that can absorb damage. AoE damage is very good, or single target damage, like especially if you have a really squishy hunt character and you don't want them taking a brunt of a hit, right? Fu Xian can actually mitigate a good chunk of the damage by being there and by absorbing. And she also deals a significant amount of damage based on her max HP. So that can also be useful essentially in case you want to work on that aspect. That.
Alright.
That's Fu Xian. Let me skip that one. That's the spoiler one. Okay. There's a girl named Gui Nai Fen. She's a 4-star fire character. Yeah. Gui Nai Fen. Yes.
Okay.
Gui Nai Fen. Like that. That's how you pronounce it in Chinese. But essentially, this girl is a 4-star fire character, Nihility. So she's a fire debuffer. And essentially, she spreads the burning debuff. So when you break someone, they get burning, right?
If you're using a fire...
someone. Anyone.
Yeah.
If she attacks somebody with her skill, on an enemy that is burning, she will spread the burning to the other enemies that are around that person. Her ult is just, basic ult. But, she essentially allows multiple burning stacks on the opponent all at once. With her passive.
Okay.
But that's pretty simple. She's not a super complicated character.
There is one character of particular interest that I want to talk about. It's what's her name with the Warp Daughter pet?
Oh, Topaz.
Topaz, very interesting.
So Topaz is, I think she's the woman from the what you call it? She's from one of the craft essences. I think she's from the Interastral Peace Corporation, I think. But essentially she is...
Is she a genius too?
I don't know. But she's a hunt character that focuses on using her summon to deal damage. So her skill targets an opponent for her summon to deal damage. And then her ult is also summon deal damage to someone type thing. And essentially, all of it is using a sniffer.
Yes, a warp
So her
trotter.
pet is a sniffer, and she attacks with the sniffer.
How did she even get it?
I don't know. Apparently yes, but
They're friends.
yeah, she increases her ult increases the sniffer's damage and crit rate for the next 2 turns, and increases its speed by 100 points for 2 turns.
So it's like Jingyan, but in one turn. You
Yes,
get to the max in one
and
turn.
the pet has a base 90 speed. That's 190 speed
Yeah.
sniffer.
Yeah.
Like what the
that'll
heck?
that'll already be faster than the Lightning Lord in one turn. It's just that she's a hunt character.
Exactly. It's like what? Why? Like why is that a thing?
Yes. The Warp Trotter lore, is that what we're gonna get?
Maybe.
I'd like to see that. Have we covered all the characters? Or I feel like we're
I
missing
think
somebody.
there's. It's hard to go through all of these because there's so many. I can't believe that they will actually leak all of these characters.
I can't believe that Hoyo versus Security is so bad.
I know. But I think we're almost done.
Are we almost done?
Yes.
Is there somebody we're missing?
Okay, there's a few more. So you know Xie Yi, right? We met her
Shiri,
in the
we
story.
met her, yeah, in the Dan Hunt
So
story.
yes, so Xie Yi is actually quantum destruction, and essentially her whole gimmick is to break characters faster if they're weak to quantum, and she
Yeah.
can also damage the toughness bar with her ult, regardless of their weakness.
Yeah. Sounds like a
So
character
even if they're not weak to
Sela
quantum.
Havers might really want also.
Yes, but well, not necessarily, because she also does.
Well,
her
Sela
own
does a
thing.
lot of damage by herself. Like I no denying that.
Mm-hmm. Basta what you call it, Xie Yi does a lot of damage against quantum weak enemies, and she can still be useful against enemies that still have no quantum weakness because she can damage their toughness regardless.
Oh, okay.
So, do you know Luca?
Luca.
Is a 4-star physical Nihility character. You've probably seen him on a Nihility CE.
Which one?
He's the boxer guy.
Oh yeah, the red-headed boxing.
Yeah, the redheaded boxing guy. Yeah.
The D-look of the game.
So essentially, he puts like a Fisher debuff on opponents. It's basically a bleed, but essentially he's kind of doing enhanced attacks upon opponents that have enhanced normal attacks against opponents that have a certain weakness
Mm-hmm.
or the certain debuff that he has. Like if they have Fissure, he does a special follow up basic attack.
Wait, when you
Oh.
say Fissure, are we talking like
Fish-
Fissure?
Yes, Fissure.
Like
Like the
spell
Pokemon
card?
move, Fissure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That kind of debuff, and it's basically a
Ah.
bleed, but if they're
Alright.
fissured, he does extra damage to them, and his ult increases opponent's damage taken depending on the one you hit it with.
All right.
So that's not a defense down, that's increased damage taken. So it's very valuable because
It doesn't matter if
it
the
goes
defense is
past
up.
defense up. It just gives you a fixed amount of extra damage to gain.
Now, remember, guys, like all of these are subject to change.
Yes, and I'm
change.
simplifying a lot of the technicality parts because
This is a lot.
this is a lot of content.
Like a crazy amount of content.
And yeah. We have Ruan Mei. She has been mentioned before. If you remember Ruan Mei, she is essentially the other member of the Genius Society. She gets featured a lot actually.
Yeah. This is not Raiden Mei, guys.
Not Raiden Mei.
Raiden Mei is also a character.
She's also a character, yes. And she's also named Raiden Mei. But her talent is essentially to do more damage to enemies that are weak to what you call it? That are weakened state. Essentially, if they've been broken already, she will deal extra damage to them. And she makes everyone on the team deal extra damage to them.
Forgive us for the noise, guys. Our pets are here. Our dog and our cat are here.
Yeah, they're playing tag again. What do you call it? Her ult is a unique one in the sense that she can actually delay how long a opponent is weakened. So after you break somebody, they're on the floor, right, in a weakened state.
Yeah.
So she can actually increase the duration of that weakened state, so they don't get up the moment they have their turn again, right? So usually that will happen if you break somebody after she activates her ult. So her ult is like a field thing, and if they are broken while they're in the field, they will be delayed in their next wake up, in a sense.
Yeah.
Very cool character. 5-star ice, Path of Harmony.
5-star
So
ice.
you can imagine the gimmicks you can have with that. You can freeze somebody, delay their turn, and then when they wake up, they won't wake up because they're delayed anyway. And then you do other stuff to them, you know? Very big damage window character, so very useful.
All right. Now is that everybody?
No, we still have other characters. We have Sam, who is Path of
Sam.
Destruction. Sam is the other member of
Here
the
are all
Stellar
these
Run
names, guys. You know, like Jing Yin. You know,
It's Chinese
Sam.
stuff,
You know,
right?
like-
So like now it's Sam.
Sam.
So Sam is the 5-star Destruction. He's one of the members of the Stellaron Hunters.
Yeah.
The other member, because there's 5 of them, you know.
Yeah.
Kafka,
People
Blade,
forgot that
Silver
there were
Wolf,
5 of them.
Elio,
Yeah.
and Sam. So he's Fire Destruction, and essentially he is stronger, or he's tankier the lower his health gets. So
Yeah.
he gains energy every time he gains 1 energy for every 1% of HP he loses, and the lower his HP becomes, he gets damage reduction up to 40%. And using his ultimate gives him a special state where his damage reduction is always active at 40%. He doesn't gain energy back, and he has a new special skill. And his
Okay.
special skill essentially will deal AoE damage to all enemies, deal extra damage to enemies weak to fire, and restore his HP. And then it advances his next move as well a bit more. And that's about it for Sam. It's a pretty simple character. Well, simple because I simplified it. But a very good character if you want to have that whole mix of getting low and dealing damage and, you know, surviving and being tanky in a sense. So I talked a bit about Topaz. There's Argenti also. Argenti is a 5-star physical erudition. So I had a feeling they would have to have some kind of bomber person, right?
Ah.
Like there's no missile launcher guy. Like we have Natasha, but she has a grenade launcher,
you know.
that only deals damage to one person. Like wow, okay.
How does that work?
Yeah. Essentially, his talent is using attacks of any kinds, restores his energy and gives him a stack of extra critical rate, which can stack up to 10 times. I don't know how much critical rate it will give him, but it's pretty cool. His ult is also very interesting because his ult can actually go past the normal energy cap. So, you know, if you've ever played with like a hunt in the simulated universe where you can get an extra stack of hunt, right? It's like that in a sense. You can go beyond 100% energy and you go to 200% energy. And if you do 200% energy, it will deal extra damage to all enemies with a bigger damage ratio. So that's essentially his what you call it, his system, or his or her system. Apparently she looks like somebody from Fire Emblem.
Really?
Titania from Fire Emblem.
Really? She looks
Yes,
like
she looks
Titania?
like Titania from Fire
Wow.
Emblem without braided hair. Apparently that's how they were described.
Wow. Are you sure?
Yes, that's how they described her.
That's her.
Yeah, without the braided hair. So, our final character for today will be Raiden Mei. So, of course,
The
in a
actual
Honkai game, you
Raiden
have
Mei,
to have a
guys.
version of Raiden Mei.
And
So,
we do
right,
have a
yes, we
version
do.
of Raiden
She is
Mei.
a 5-star lightning, obviously, and she is a hunt character. Somewhat
Obviously.
also obviously. Yeah. So essentially, she is like a she has a stacking system also, obviously.
Yeah.
But every time she is targeted by a skill or an ult from an ally, she gains a mark. Okay, the pets have left,
For
but
now.
she gains a hunt mark, and it can stack up to 6 times. When she attacks and she has at least 3 hunt marks, she will consume the marks and get an extra turn, and her next attack will do extra damage. Now, this doesn't have a limit on how many times it can happen, and you can get an extra turn off the extra turn.
Like Sila?
No, Sila can't get her extra turn reset off killing somebody after you
but
get
Raiden Mei
resurgence
can.
already. But she can. So
So they just gave Sila's old thing to Raiden Mei?
No, Sila was always limited by the fact that when you attack somebody, you kill somebody, you get an extra turn, but you can't get an extra turn from killing somebody on your extra turn, right? Raiden Mei can. And she doesn't, she just needs to attack though. She doesn't need to kill someone.
I see.
Her ult is to immediately get 3 stacks essentially and deal lightning damage. So that's essentially giving her the extra turn immediately, and it enhances her skill to something special. So a special skill. So her normal skill is just to apply a mark on an opponent that debuffs them in a way that the more marks they have on them, they'll take more damage from her skill. And her enhanced skill is essentially the same thing, but it adds another version of the mark. So it's mark on mark.
Mark on mark.
Yes, and they can stack up to 3 times, both types. So essentially what you're going to be doing is that you're going to stack up to like 6 marks on Mei. You're going to do the skill, get an extra turn. Use your skill again, get an extra turn. Use your ult, get an extra turn. And use your skill again. So you have a lot of turns to do whatever you want.
I see.
So she's gonna be very powerful. I'm going to say this now. She's not gonna be released now or anytime soon, but I'm going to tell you now. She's going to be very, very powerful. So if you want to save for a character that's a hunt character and you don't want Sila or you don't want any of the other characters I've mentioned so far, or you don't want any character that we know is coming out already, you can save for Raiden Mei, especially if you are a Honkai fan.
Oh yes.
So that is all of our characters. I haven't gotten info
On anyone else yet?
on anyone else yet. Yes.
We'll see. Well, there's the one character, but that's a spoiler, guys. We can't tell
Yes.
you that.
I don't want to talk about that one because that one's too much of a spoiler. I don't want to reveal if anything, I don't want to reveal lore bits that you guys don't want to hear.
Yeah, especially
'cause
about this
me.
character.
I know what it is, but like I don't know what the context of it is.
I
like,
kinda do, but
I don't,
I'm not
and
gonna say
I'm not gonna let myself be revealed on that matter. But essentially, those are all of our Star Rail characters.
yes. So with that, folks, that was yet another episode of Gacha Rock and Roll in the bag.
Yes, I
So-
love Xenoblade also.
Oh yes. Just think in
In a few days, I'll be able
you'll
to play
finally be able
Xenoblade
to play
again.
the entire thing.
I'll be able to play Future Redeemed, and I'll be able to finish my New Game Plus run of the Xenoblade 3 again.
Why don't you do that after?
No,
Future
because because if I play Future Redeemed, I'm going to have the New Game Plus Future Redeemed also.
So you're gonna finish New Game Plus then do Future Redeemed?
Yes.
That's gonna take you forever.
No, it won't.
Yeah, it will.
No, it won't. Because I have to. Because I want both experiences,
Very
full
well.
experiences.
All right.
Right.
If you say so. But yes, folks. We out.
Peace.